Hey everybody, my name is Taya Reimer and I want to welcome you back to the Taya Talk Podcast. My guest today is somebody that I've known for a really long time. I think it's been almost 10 years now. So I knew you first as a skills trainer, and you had a huge impact on my life. You still do. But even then, and I think now it's so amazing to see the impact that you have on so many other people's lives all over the world on such a grand scale. So I'm so excited to have you here. You wear so many hats, and I'm not even going to be able to do you justice, probably 100 more than I'm going to say. Of course, I said skills trainer, professional basketball player, legendary Harlem Globetrotter, author, speaker, podcaster, and a mindset coach. So Derick Grant, everybody, thank you so much, DG, for being with me.
Thank you, Taya, for having me. I've been looking forward to this, to see your evolution and your growth, to witness it both up close and from afar. I'm grateful that we were able to share this time together.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate you saying that. I started this podcast with the intention to share my own story and to let other athletes share their stories of adversity, things that they've been through and how they've overcome those things. So I am really looking forward to speaking with you because as a mindset coach, you obviously work with all different types of people. But I know you also work with a lot of athletes. And I think that you obviously have a really unique perspective in how athletes can and maybe should deal with adversity. So I'm excited to give the people maybe a little bit of insight in how they can deal with their own adversity. So let's get into it.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, cool. So to start, let me know kind of your process a little bit. When you work with athletes, do you have somewhere that you always start with every single athlete? Do you kind of have like a baseline that you want to get every athlete to? Or do you cater your work and your sessions specifically maybe to the things that they're going through on the court, off the court, the specific problems that they may have? How does that work for you?
Yeah, so I always ask, where do you want to go? Right. So ironically enough, I had somebody yesterday on Instagram, he plays in the NHL. He reached out to me and said, hey, can you help me get to the next level? And my response back to him was, yeah, as long as you know what the next level looks like, then yes, I can help you get there. But the reason why I say this is a lot of times with athletes, we're so vague in where it is that we want to go. And we're never specific enough. We say, I want to be a professional athlete. Okay, what level do you want to be a professional athlete?
Yeah.
And the reason why I say this is because you have to know the destination so you can know what things in your life present day you have to change to get to the destination. So
yeah, absolutely.
The first thing I always ask is where you want to go so we can develop clarity, because clarity is power. When I know where I want to go, I can change my behaviors. And then with every athlete, we all have a story that we tell ourselves underneath the surface that we're unaware of. And that's usually where the work becomes gold, is when we go back and find that story.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. So for you, with athletes, with athletics, how important is a strong mentality for an athlete? I mean, talk about the mental side of being an athlete.
Yeah. There's a few attributes that I found is for high performing athletes that they all have. This muscle of what we call resiliency, right? Having a mindset of no matter what happens, I'm going to get back up. I'm going to learn from when I fell, and then I'm going to apply it. Intentionality, meaning everything that is done, it's done with a purpose. We're not just doing it just to say that we're doing it. And then the other thing, what I found with a mindset, having a high performing mindset in the athletic world, is being super disciplined and committed
Mm-hmm.
to the goal. Meaning, no matter how I feel today, I'm still going to get up and do what I need to move me closer to where I say I want to go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a little bit, I guess, maybe a little bit of a scenario. For an athlete that's maybe dealing with something, with some adversity that's on the court. Whether that's like, okay, I've had a few games that I'm in a shooting slump, or this season I'm just not getting along with my coach, we're not seeing eye to eye, or maybe a nagging injury. Do you ever feel like it's beneficial to step away, find something that brings you peace outside of your sport? Or is that the time when you're like, okay, we need to lock in even more. You need to be hyper-focused. You need to stay focused on your craft, on your sport. How do you feel in that type of situation?
Yeah, I think it's unique to every situation is different. Every individual is different.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a fine line of persevering versus needing to pivot, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I can sit here and, grind, but really it's about aligning. So,
Absolutely.
For a situation like that, it's asking myself, what's the energy behind what I'm feeling right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to step away and gain clarity, to get my breath, or am I running away from something that's a little challenging right now? Right?
Yeah.
So finding the energy behind it, I think, is key, but only you, and I always tell the athletes this, only you know what alignment looks like in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else. No, and then that's where you have to trust yourself that, like, I know what I need. But then also having the awareness of what's the reason behind it and making sure that I'm not running away from something just because it's challenging.
Absolutely. Like piggybacking off of that a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
I think just like what you said, I mean, I feel like I resonate so much with, only you can say how you're feeling, what you're aligning with, where you need to go. But sometimes that's easier said than done.
Sure,
I think for sure. So have there ever been any situations, you're working with somebody and you're maybe like, okay, you're not getting it. Like, you gotta move them along a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely happens. I think it's really important to remember in the world of athletics, it's so polarizing. You either win or you lose, right?
Yeah.
You're either right or you're wrong.
Right.
But that's not the way life works, right?
Absolutely.
Because even when I lose, I can learn and grow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So instead of everything being so black and white, this is what I find. Like, a lot of athletes get stuck or they don't know what to do because they have this polarization of it being this or that.
Yeah.
Now, there is a gray area in between, but it's giving yourself permission to say, like, I'm going to make a decision, and there is no right or wrong decision. It's just a decision.
Yep.
Because what I think is right for me, it may be wrong for somebody else. So giving yourself permission to become the authority of your life is really half the battle, because as athletes, a lot of times we don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's such I don't know if stigma is the right word. Maybe so. I think with athletics, you're like perceived a certain way and supposed to be a certain way, act a certain way, do certain things, rub some dirt on it, like a lot of times. And I think it can be, just from my own experience, it can be really hard to maybe make that decision or pivot or say, okay, I'm going to take, authority over my own life and my own path. I definitely resonate with that. And I think that can be hard for a lot of athletes. So now let's talk about maybe some adversity off of the court. Because, obviously the nature of life is things happen, all the time. And, an athlete can be in season and you're still expected to perform and do what you're supposed to do, whether you're on contract or, in school somewhere on scholarship, and, it just is what it is. So what are some ways that you feel like an athlete can fight through a personal issue or personal adversity that they're going through, maybe outside of their sport, and continue to thrive on the court or on the field or wherever they play?
Yeah, I think probably the most important thing is to realize that whatever situation you're going through, it's really your perspective that you're experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the situation. I see it all the time. I get text messages all the time. Man, I'm not getting any playing time, and coach is this. And I'm like, it's not the fact that you're not playing. It's your perspective around not playing, because I'm looking at the same situation and I feel nothing.
Yeah.
Because we have two different perspectives.
Yeah.
So when you start to realize that your experiences in life with adversity are shaped by your perspective, you have the choice on how you want to experience it. You have to consciously make the choice, though, of saying, this isn't negative. This is actually just trying to teach me something. I haven't learned it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And now your relationship to adversity will be completely different. So like for me personally, I don't have hard things in life. Mm-hmm. I have things that are going to teach me, mm-hmm. and I have things that I have already learned from. So something I've already learned from is what I call success.
Yeah.
Something that I have something to learn still is what I call adversity. So now there's no negative like energy around it. It's worst case, I'm going to learn more about myself.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're working with an athlete, what are maybe some, I guess, exercises or activities or something that you encourage them to do, maybe to kind of help them get in a better mindset or kind of begin to, like you said, change that perspective on how they see things, whether that's meditation or journaling, or what are some things that you find really beneficial?
Yeah. I tell all the athletes that I work with, bare minimum, every single day, journal.
Okay.
Every day. Every single day. Non-negotiable. Because here's what happens with journaling.
Mm-hmm.
You're just emptying and dumping out whatever's going on inside of your mind. Okay? You're becoming aware of what you have previously been unaware of. So I journal every day. Doesn't matter what I could sit down and write, well, I'm thinking about a hot dog and I want to do this and I want to right? It seems little, but here's what I'm doing. I'm becoming aware of the mental chatter. Mm-hmm. So now throughout my day, I am aware of the mental chatter.
Absolutely.
So I always say journaling, non-negotiable. Meditation is huge. Meditation strengthens your muscle of awareness. And then something that I do, I recommend it to some athletes, but like I put my cell phone away for like 10 minutes in the morning, and I just sit and stare out a window. Yeah. Stillness, quiet. And I'm just observing everything that's going on inside of me. How do I feel? How does my body feel? Is there any fear? Is there any guilt? Is there any shame? Or is there any lower energies that are inside of me? If there are, I'm going to journal about them. Yeah. But taking time to have stillness, meditation, journaling, it's a way to center and ground yourself before the world or the games or practices or coach get a hold of your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I think, even just from my own experience, and I'm sure other people probably resonate a little bit with this too. I think like sometimes for me, I've wanted to journal or I've thought about it, and then it's almost like, I want it to be prompted. And so I'm like you said, writing about a hot dog, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so dumb. Is this long enough? Is this too short? Am I journaling about the right thing? Should it be deep and expressive? And, it's one of those things that it's almost like, what am I supposed to do here? And then, I think I know I have, and maybe a lot of other people are like, well, this just feels dumb and I don't know what I'm supposed to do, so I'm just not going to do it, know? Yeah. And even sometimes I think with meditation, that can be something that's, am I supposed to sit here for an hour? Am I supposed to do 5 minutes? Am I supposed to, I think that those two things are, journaling and meditation can be so broad
Sure.
that it can be something that, that people struggle with. Just because it can be something when you're first starting, like, is this right? Or am I just being an idiot right now?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I asked that. I mean, when I first started meditation, I was like, am I doing this right? Like, this feels like it's not doing anything. What's the, like,
right.
But here's what it does. Like, when I first started, I would take slow inhale, slow exhale, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every time that I exhale, I would count down from 30.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And another exhale, 29, another exhale, 28. I'd get to like 15 or 16. And now I'm thinking about something completely. I'm not even thinking about my breath. I'm thinking like, okay, what do I have today? What time is the workout? What time am I going to do it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. I'm still breathing, but I'm not counting anymore.
Exactly.
When I come back
mm-hmm.
to the number, I've just done one rep for my muscle of awareness.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, just like working out your physical body. You go to the gym one day, that ain't going to do anything. You go to the gym 2 days, it ain't going to do anything. It's over the course of weeks, if you can stay consistent, that you're going to start to see changes. So It's the same with meditation. It's the same with journaling. But here's the difference. You're not going to see changes physically. You're going to see changes emotionally, psychologically, where you're like, oh, wow, like I haven't been upset here in like 3 weeks. Like, or I'm back in a situation again that I remember when this triggered me or it bothered me, but this time it doesn't. And this is how you know when your practices, your daily standards or your daily habits are helping you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, I mean, again, from my own experience and, just a lot of times that is the mental, the emotional, that's what's causing the, poor performance or the, XYZ. It's not the physical, like you said. It's not, sometimes it's not a lack of reps or, this or that. It's just, like you said, your perspective, the way that you're approaching things. So, yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I do think that that's very helpful because, again, I think it can be just almost overbearing to think about, like, okay, where do I start with this journal? Am I like writing a novel or the meditation? Like, where am I going with this? So, I do think that that's really helpful. Okay. So this is like just a silly question and you don't have to answer this. But has there ever been anybody that you have worked with that you were like, okay, we got to cut it. Like, we can't do this anymore. You're not getting it. You're not, it's not picking up. And then like, how do you go about that? Like, how do you say, I'm so sorry, but we can't do this anymore?
Yeah. So yeah, I've had it happen a couple times. And I try to be as understanding because I realize that if somebody can't do something, it's not that they're not capable. They may not be at the level yet.
Yeah.
So I simply tell them, like, and they usually know, they see it, right? We both see it. It's like,
yeah.
I usually tell them in a nice way that, like, the level of awareness and accountability that's needed for where you say you want to go.
Yeah.
The bare minimum right now, you're not there yet. It's not to say that you won't be, but maybe I'm not the one for you, but I'm sure there's somebody out there who will work.
Yeah.
And, that's where it's kind of like, all right, adios.
Have a good one.
Yeah, I'll let your boy. But I have had to do that, and it's been beneficial for both parties because nothing was worse than you trying to help somebody help themselves that don't really want to help themselves. It won't work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and even what you said earlier, like at the end of the day, we're the only ones that can have, that agency over ourselves. So
exactly.
as amazing as you are, you can only do so much.
I can't. Hey, my dad used to say, you can take the horse to the trough, but you can't make him drink.
Only so much that can be done. That's so funny. Okay, so now give me maybe an example of some adversity that you have gone through. You know, in any part of your life, in any way that you want to share. But maybe something that you feel like now as a mindset coach, and as somebody that, you know, helps so many people and tries to get other people through, you know, their adversity and their things that they're going through. Just maybe share something that you have been through that now you learned from and you hold close to you and yourself that you use to help other people.
Yeah, probably one that comes to mind, 2019, got involved with a business partner, lost everything. Was a victim of fraud. Before I know it, the FBI is coming to my house. They want me to be a confidential informant. My life was like, you knew me pre all of that. And then when I came back, it's like everything crumbled. And I can tell you now, 6 years out, I've finally gotten over that hump, not necessarily financially, psychologically and emotionally.
Yeah.
Because psychologically and emotionally, that's what created that situation. I had a low level of self-worth. I believed that somebody else was going to provide an opportunity for me because I didn't believe I was worthy enough of creating it myself. I didn't really have clarity on where it was that I wanted to go, like specifically. That situation allowed me and it forced me to start to reflect and look at my own internal state and my own self-concept and how I believe in myself, and realize you want to do X, Y, and Z, but you don't have a belief system in yourself to support that.
Right.
So it's helped me today to help other people to say, where do you want to go? Okay, let's see what the belief system is behind that. I don't know if we have enough self-worth to be able to get to where you say you want to go right now, but here's the beauty. Let's go back and change the story and heal these wounds.
Yeah.
And now you'll see that you're worthy of getting there, and you'll see your life correspond. So I say that situation 2019 was the best thing that ever happened to me. And yeah.
I know. Well, like you said, I mean, I have known you before then, and I do remember when all of that stuff happened. And I think that, you know, that is kind of crazy to see where you are now. And, you know, just to say that that's the best thing that's happened to you, because obviously at the time and in the moment, that's, you know, like the whole world is upside down. But, yeah, obviously now you've made so much out of that experience. So,
thank you.
Yeah, of course. That's awesome. Okay, so another silly question.
Okay.
Do you feel like, and you probably won't be biased because you're so good, but do you feel like you enjoy working with like basketball players the most, just because you have that background and that experience, you know, and obviously that love playing basketball, or do you just like everybody? I love working with everybody, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I gotta be honest with you. I enjoy working with basketball players the most.
Okay.
And it's twofold. One, because I understand how they think. Right? When you miss 4 shots in a row and you got a 5th one that's wide open, I know exactly what you're thinking right now. Right? If I miss this one, he gonna take me out. Coach taking me out if I miss right now, so I'm scared to shoot it. But then also, too, me as a former athlete, as a former basketball player, I get to like reconcile my past. Right? Through what I would tell you and help you with, that's what I would tell and help myself with in the past, knowing what I know now. So, and then also, too, I have children. I have a son who plays basketball. So, like, I'm learning what works with a guy in the NBA at 27 years old, and then I apply it to my 12-year-old.
Yeah.
So he's 15 years ahead of the curve.
Exactly.
Mentally. So I love working with all athletes, but basketball players are definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so two questions off of that.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to ask you, with your son playing basketball, and I know Miss Ruby is a cheerleader, and
Yep.
she's athletic as well. So with them, how do you apply some of these things so early on, and find ways to, get them in a great mindset and have them, like you said, be ahead of the curve so that they can maybe try to avoid some of these mental challenges that a lot of athletes do deal with as they progress through their career?
Yeah. So I have two rules with my children. They're not allowed to say I can't do something,
Okay.
and they're not allowed to say I don't know.
Okay. Yep.
Right. So like something's bothering Hudson. True story. I took him to a camp, overnight camp in Florida, PGC camp, and I did it not for the basketball that he would learn. I did it because emotionally and mentally it was going to be challenging for him to be dropped off on Monday and not picked up again until Friday. He was going to have to like emotionally regulate himself, and he was feeling fear and all. And I said, there's a reason why I'm doing this. It's to develop you internally. So when I told my kids, I don't want to hear you say, I don't know. It's around the premise that you need to know yourself better than anybody knows you.
Yeah.
So when I ask you, how do you feel? And you're like, oh, I don't know. That's unacceptable. You need to know how you feel. You need to know what's going on inside of you. So I teach my children, and Carly's the same way, to be aware, self-aware, to know from moment to moment what's going on. So like I coach Hudson's team.
Yep.
There'll be games when I'm looking at him, I'm like, why are you playing like you're scared right now?
Yeah.
I will take him out of the game and sit him down next to me and ask him, what's going on inside of you? What are you afraid of right now? What's causing you to play passive? And the reason why I'm doing this, and I tell him after, it's to get him to be aware of what's going on, because that's the only thing that limits us. There's a story that we're telling ourselves, and once you get to the root of it, it has no more power. And then he'll go in and rail off 3 straight threes.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm applying everything that I'm doing with anybody. I always teach my children. And really, everything that I do with somebody else is what I've done with myself.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how this journey started, Taya. I just wanted to figure out me and learn me.
Yeah.
And now I'm just sharing it with the world.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. That's so awesome. Okay. So my other question, you said that you like working with basketball players the most. So when you're working with an athlete that plays hockey, like you said, or baseball, or maybe some other sport that's like, I don't even know how they play this sport. Do you ever feel, I don't know. I mean, is there ever like I don't know if I can help you because I don't necessarily understand your sport, what you're doing. Do you ever feel that? Or is it just, as long as I can get your mental, like it's kind of a baseline thing, and regardless of what you're doing, I can always help you?
Yeah, I mean, the actual sport, growing up, I played tennis, soccer, hockey, baseball, basketball, football. So I played just about
you got it covered.
Sport. I understand at least on a baseline level what you're doing. But what this is the thing. It's like every sport looks different, but we all struggle with the same issues, all of us. Here's what it is. We all want to know that we're good enough.
Yep.
We all want to know that, we all want to believe in ourselves, right? So I know no matter what sport you play, you're going to have the same issues that I have. And even if you don't play a sport, the CEO of this Fortune 500 company will have the same issues as a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah.
And that's the part where, like, with what I do, the surface looks different, but underneath it, it's all the same. And so it makes it easier. I understand basketball players and their dialect and the way they think, because, I'm a hooper. So
of course
that makes it a little easier.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So just to kind of wrap things up, is there anything, one like simple, quick, I don't know, phrase or just anything that you would use or give to somebody that is watching this, just to maybe like kickstart them in the right direction, how to, just get their mindset going in a positive way, change their perspective, change the way that they're looking at adversity in their lives. Just some little quick hitter, something that you can give, just to inspire somebody.
Yeah. Life changed for me like drastically when I realized I was going to be whatever I believed I was. That's where everything changes. So for anybody out here who's listening or watching this, like, you will literally be whatever you believe that you are. As the kids would say, no cap, right? We done, right? You're gonna be whatever you are. Yeah, like you are going to be whatever. So now the question is, who do I think I am?
Mm-hmm.
What do I think I'm capable of? Because that guy believed he was capable of making 100 million. Why are you feel like you're only capable of making 50 million?
Mm-hmm.
When you realize that your life is the sum total of your beliefs and your self-worth, I just have to increase my self-worth and everything else will go up. Everything. So
I love that. Yeah, absolutely. I always love chatting with you, and I always appreciate your perspective. I think that you're like infinitely wise. You help so many people. You always.
Hey, you need to tell my kids that then.
Like, they don't think that, but okay. That's so funny. That's so funny. Well, okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Always. I know that this is going to help a lot of people. So thank you so much. Derick Grant, everybody.
Taya, can I say something real quick before we get off?
Of course you can.
I just want to tell you thank you. Thank you for listening to your heart and going after it and trusting. I know as an athlete, it's not easy to make that pivot, right? And we always think like, well, it has to make me money or it has to make me famous or you're just following your heart. And I'm telling you, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's making an impact in this world. And eventually that energy is going to come back to you in ways that you could never even imagine. So I just want to tell you thank you because I know you talked about doing this podcast and now you're doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you because you honestly are the person who inspired me to do this. Yeah. Just because, you've had this amazing journey and you put yourself out there. You did all of this stuff and just had no fear. And I mean, look where you are. So you've inspired me like crazy. So thank you right back at you.
Thank you. Thank you, Taya.
Of course. Well, okay. Derick Grant, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Taya Talk Podcast, and I will see you next time.